Have you ever reached a point in life where you start questioning everything? You know, those little things that you never gave much thought to before. For me, one of the most surprising realizations came when I hit my 60s. I started to avoid people. Sounds strange, right? But here's the twist. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'm 65 now, and I'm not ashamed to say I've learned that sometimes the best way to improve your life is to step back from the crowd. But why? Why would someone like me, in my golden years, choose solitude over socializing? Let me tell you, these aren't just random thoughts. These are real reasons that could change your perspective on friendships, gatherings, and social expectations. If you've ever felt drained, overwhelmed, or just tired of trying to keep up with everyone, you're going to want to hear this. Trust me, what I'm about to share will shock you and might make you rethink how you spend your time. So, sit tight and let me explain why. After 60, it's totally okay to avoid people, and why it might be the best decision for you too. Like, share, and subscribe to Mindful Elders for more wisdom-filled content. Health comes first. The hidden impact of socializing. When we're young, we're told that socializing is good for the soul, but no one really talks about how it affects our health as we age. The truth is, after 60, my body just couldn't handle the constant back and forth of social events anymore. Sure, I used to love seeing my friends, getting together for dinner or a cup of coffee, but as the years passed, I realized that every social gathering came with a cost. It wasn't just about the time I spent out of the house. It was the physical toll. After each gathering, I'd feel exhausted, drained, and sometimes even sick. I didn't realize it at the time, but my body was screaming for rest, and socializing wasn't helping. More time spent away from home meant more stress on my immune system, and with aging, that's something you just can't ignore. But once I took a step back, things changed. I started focusing more on myself, more rest, more sleep, and more relaxation. The result? I felt better. Less stress, more energy, and a healthier me. And honestly, I've never been happier. My advice to you, prioritize your health over social obligations. It's not selfish, it's essential. Socializing became more of a burden. Let's talk about the burden of socializing. When we're younger, meeting friends feels like a breeze. It's spontaneous, fun, and effortless. But as we age, the fun starts to fade, and you begin to feel more like you're checking off boxes rather than actually enjoying the company. I realized that I was visiting people because I felt obligated, not because I truly wanted to. It wasn't about the company or the conversations. It was more about maintaining appearances, staying active, and living up to expectations. It began to feel like a duty, not a delight. The energy it took just to get dressed, drive, and make small talk started to feel more like a chore than anything fulfilling. What I found was this: I didn't need to be everywhere. I didn't need to please everyone. I needed to prioritize my peace. It was freeing to acknowledge that I could say no without guilt, that I could just stay home and enjoy the quiet. That's when I began to truly appreciate solitude. So, here's the takeaway. If socializing is more about duty than joy, it might be time to cut back. Make room for what really matters to you. Financial strain. Why socializing can hurt your wallet. This next reason might surprise you, but here it is. Socializing can actually hurt your finances. When you're constantly meeting up with people, whether it's for coffee, dinner, or a weekend trip, it adds up. I didn't notice it at first, but after a while, I saw my bank account shrinking, and it wasn't from unexpected bills. It was all the little social obligations, buying gifts, going out for meals, covering transportation costs, or even just the cost of parking adds up quickly. I was spending money I didn't really need to spend, just to keep up with social expectations. And as I got older, I began to realize that my financial priorities needed to shift. I wanted to focus on saving, not spending on outings that didn't add real value to my life. You don't have to completely stop socializing, but it's important to be mindful of your spending. Think about this. Do your social visits make you happier, or do they just drain your wallet? It's about finding balance, and sometimes cutting back can lead to better financial stability. In fact, once I stopped going out so much, I had more money to invest in experiences that actually brought me joy, without the pressure of spending just to meet others' expectations. Emotional drain. How socializing took a toll on my mental health. This might be the hardest part of all: emotional exhaustion. We don't always realize how much socializing can take a toll on our mental health, especially as we get older. The conversations, the emotions, the sometimes heavy expectations of friends and family, all of it adds up. And if you're like me, you begin to feel like you're carrying a weight that isn't yours to bear. I started noticing that after every social visit, I felt emotionally drained. People would pour out their worries, their struggles, and their frustrations, and I was constantly taking on their stress. While I wanted to be a good friend, I realized I was compromising my own emotional well-being. Over time, I had to make a hard decision. I needed to protect my own mental health. The solution wasn't to cut people off, but to establish healthier boundaries. I learned to say no when I needed to, and I focused more on activities that restored my emotional energy, like reading, nature walks, and alone time. My emotional well-being became my priority, and it was the best decision I made. So, if socializing is draining your emotions, it might be time to reassess where you're investing your energy. Rediscovering time for myself. Now, here's the best part. Cutting back on social visits has allowed me to rediscover my time. It might sound selfish, but hear me out. After years of being busy meeting people, attending events, and living up to everyone else's schedules, I finally realized I had lost myself in the process. The time I spent socializing was time I could have spent doing things that truly bring me peace. I began to focus more on my hobbies, my health, and my personal growth. I started painting again, something I hadn't done in years. I began taking long, uninterrupted walks where I could think, reflect, and enjoy the world in my own way. I took naps without guilt. I didn't feel like I had to fill my schedule with people and activities that didn't nourish my soul. When you get to your 60s, you realize that time is precious. You've spent decades giving to others. Now it's time to give to yourself. I learned that it's okay to choose your time wisely, and the results were incredible. More joy, more peace, and a much healthier state of mind. So, after 65, I've learned that cutting back on socializing isn't about being rude or antisocial. It's about prioritizing your well-being. Whether it's for your health, your finances, your mental peace, or just rediscovering your own time, sometimes avoiding the crowd is the best choice you can make. Remember, your time is your most valuable asset. Spend it wisely. If you found these reasons helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more insights. In the next video, we'll explore how to build meaningful relationships at any stage of life.